Good morning. Good morning. Morning for most of the country. How is everyone doing? Thank you for joining us today. I am so excited to be here in the virtual lemonade stand talking a little bit about the let's hold up 10 fingers, five biggest branding mistakes that we see in the home service industry. And so I am so excited to dive in and chat with you guys about that. Maybe see if you might be making one, two, maybe even three or four of these branding mistakes with your own brand, with your own company. We don't want that to be happening. So, Lemon Seed is a marketing strategy and branding agency for the home service industry. So, we work exclusively with HVAC contractors, plumbers, electricians. And so we live, eat, and breathe drinking the lemonade for branding for these contractors. And so I feel like we have great experience and why we see this all the time and why we can speak to this. And so I'm so excited to dive that in. Let me know where you're tuning in from today. I would love to see down in the chat. What company and what city, state are you from? If y'all can't tell, we're here based in East Texas. So I got that Southern drawl, but I'd love to see where you guys are from. So let's kick it off. We're going to talk a little bit about, like I said, the five biggest branding mistakes, but I'm curious, where have you guys had some wins? When was the last time your brand actually got like noticed or someone mentioned or commented of like, hey, I see you guys everywhere. Or, hey, I saw your truck right there. I saw your truck over in that side of town, over doing there. I saw you at this event, at this community. Let me know, where has your brand been noticed? How have people engaged with it? And we're going to talk a little bit more about why the brand and the presence that you have is so important, and why when you have a brand, so that people can actually remember, that they can resonate with, that they can tap into, it will actually reduce your marketing spend. Okay. And that might sound super strange on why would a marketing agency be telling me things that can reduce my marketing spend? Because in reality, marketing and ad spend and that constant rat race of like always trying to get new leads, new leads, new leads, like I got to have something now. That is a very sprint method, where building a brand is the marathon approach, our long term approach to building a legacy, to building a company that lasts and that matters. And so that's why we give so much importance to the brand. Yes, marketing and ad spend is important, and like needing leads now at that, right at this moment to fill your board is super important, but it takes the combination of those things to really matter. So we're going to focus in on the brand side today. So um what does having a brand really mean? Okay, I'm not talking just a logo. I'm talking a comprehensive feeling and identity, what people perceive that working with my company is like. What iterations or interpretations are they making whenever they see or hear me or witness me out in the community? That is what a brand is, that perception and that feeling. So the number one mistake that I see contractors doing, though, is there's no real brand identity or intentionality behind it. It's very haphazard. It's very DIY, if you will. We talk to contractors all the time. It's like, oh, like, tell us about your name. Tell us about your logo. Well, I didn't know what to name it. So I just, use my last name, or, me and my wife's initials, just thought that was good. I was speaking with someone yesterday, and they told me that they named their company SMP. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, guess what that stands for? I was like, what? He's like, smoking more pot. I was like, no, 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 no. We're not going to be doing that. Okay. But there was a haphazardness, not really thinking everything through there, and to where he did eventually rebrand, and now he's looking to start a new company. But he told me, he's like, I never knew the power of a brand. And now that I'm starting a new company, I'm doing it brand forward. I know, like, I've learned from my ways. Okay. So he's learned from the haphazard DIY. So when I say that, oftentimes it happens like you haphazardly named it after some initials, your last name, something like that. And then you're like, I guess I need some like business cards. So like I just went down to the Home Depot or Office Depot, and like the girl there at the print shop, she just kind of came up with this. And that's what's on the logo on the business card. So like that's just what we went with. Like, that is not telling a story. There's no consistency in there. There's no brand guide. So like, hey, yeah, it's a red, but is it like a dark red? Is it a cherry red? Is it almost maroon? Does it have a little bit more of a blue undertone to it? So like, when we're developing a brand, like if I say Tiffany blue, a very specific blue comes to your mind. There's an exact color code to that. There is an exact typeface to it. So when you don't have a strong identity or foundation to that, you get mixed messaging. You get mixed variations of it. I was talking with a contractor yesterday and they're like, that's not our logo. I'm like, this one right here that I just pulled off of your website and off of your social media, right? Like that's not no, that's not it. I'm like, okay, where? Like that decal that we put on the back, that's our logo. It's like, excuse me, this is all over the place. We have different colors, different fonts. Sometimes it has different shapes behind it, things like that. That is where it is mixed messaging. It is inconsistent, and so sometimes the customer, you can have a mixed appearance. You can seem not all put together, not fully polished, because you are presenting yourself as haphazard DIY. There's no clear identity or consistency. Customers, as they are looking to build trust with a company, consistency is a major factor into building trust. It builds reliability, it builds strength. And so when you're not having that clearly identified, you don't have that consistency element, it not only discourages trust, it just makes confused messaging. And so you have a mixed brand identity, a mixed brand message. That is the number one mistake that I see all the time with contractors. Number two, this is a big one too. Trying to appeal to everyone. And not even in just your logo and your branding, but in your marketing messaging. Like, I'm here to service everybody. No, you're not. Okay. No, you are not. Okay. Saying that you're appealing to everybody is basically saying that you're appealing to nobody, because it is not specific. It is not unique enough. It is nothing that I can truly connect and resonate with, because it feels just so inauthentic and diluted because it was meant for everybody. I remember a quote off of The Incredibles. Who remembers The Incredibles movie, the little Pixar movie? And one of the teachers said to the little boy, he's like, well, everybody's special. He said, that's another way of saying nobody is special. So same thing. Okay. When you are saying that you appeal to everybody, no, you do not. Okay. You have a demographic, and there are certain values and characteristics and things that appeal to them. And so you need to have a brand that represents those messages and those identities, those core values that you have for your customers. So what do I mean by that? Maybe you are known and like you pride yourself on being the fastest one around. So like, hey, we will get to you in 2 hours or less, guaranteed. Or we have same day air, guaranteed. Or we will put you up in a hotel. We will have one room cool for you by the end of day, whatever it might be. You are hanging your hat on, we're the fastest around town. Maybe you are hanging your hat on, hey, we're kind of fun and quirky. Like, we love to show our personality. Like, we are bright and fun and fresh. Like, that is what people say about Lemon Seed all the time. It's like, you guys just look so bright and fun. It's like, that was with intentionality, that we were trying to do that we were going to show to our contractors, we're going to have bright and fun and positive and uplifting marketing messages and branding to give to you guys. So that was very intentional. But we were intentional in who we are trying to appeal and making a brand that represented that. So when you're trying to appeal to everybody, you're like, well, like, I don't want to like rock any boats, or like, I don't want to like exclude anyone in my branding or in my messaging, things like that. In reality, you're just so diluted. Nothing is special at that point. And so you don't have an ideal customer. And when you have nothing that makes you specific, makes you unique, there's no connection or anything that people can resonate with or like have a definitive reason of like, that's why I went with those people. When you don't have that, then it always comes down to just price. Okay. At that point, there's no resignation. You're not resigning, but there's no connection to it. People are always whittling it down to price. And no contractor that we know is like trying to race down to the bottom of the barrel. Okay. No one is striving that we know of like, I want to be the cheapest one in town. No, I'm sorry. That is a terrible strategy, and that will wear on you very, very quickly. And that is not a company that's going to be around to build a legacy of how can I always be undercutting my own prices, because the only way to do that is start undercutting your value as well too. So when you're trying to appeal to everybody, you're really trying to appeal to nobody. So think about how can you portray the values that you stand for and that makes you different? And if you don't know what makes you different from your competitors, I want to encourage you to do a little bit of soul searching there. Okay. You should have a reason of Why are you in business? Why are you different than your competitors? Why should someone choose you over the competitor? It is honestly very sad to me when I ask that to contract and they're like, I don't know. Well, like, the customer don't know either. Like, if you for sure can't articulate that, they for sure don't know why. And so then again, there's no reason why. So then it's just like, well, they were the best price. These other people, or this was a better price, so I went with them. They had nothing else to hang on to. So, being super knowing who you want to identify and who you want to target as your ideal customer, that is who you need to try to appeal your brand and your messaging to. So appealing to everyone and trying to make everybody happy. So we've worked with a lot of contractors in going through a brand refresh. We're like, I'm going to show it to my whole team. I'm going to show it to my neighbor and to my mom and to my best friend. Like, also a terrible way to run your business and to try to come up with a brand that will work. Because great ideas go to committees to die. Okay. Committees are designed to play it safe, to averse risk. And when we're trying to do something disruptive, bold, that will stand out in your market, that's all what we are pitching for your brand. And committees will kill it down so quick. Like, oh, why would you do that? I don't know. It might be a bad idea. So do not try to do bold and disruptive moves and trying to make and please every single person. Won't happen. Okay. That will be the number 2 biggest mistake that we see all the time, trying to appeal to everyone and get everyone's approval on your brand. Big mistake. It will keep you paralyzed, and it will also keep you very safe to where you're not being disruptive and you're not standing out amongst your competitors. You're blending in. That is what committees and trying to appeal to everybody will do, is like, how can we play it the most safe? So we don't want to see you doing that. Number 3, I was kind of starting to allude to it here, but I want to elaborate on a little bit more. Focusing on the price only. So when you don't focus on your value, the customer doesn't have anything else to hang on to except the price. So if you're building a brand that looks cheap, that looks DIY, that looks homemade, like there's no intentionality or manipulation to the typeface, it doesn't look special. It looks like you opened up Microsoft Word and typed out one of the 12 default fonts there. I will almost expect that same type of service from you. Like, you don't look super intentional. You don't look super premium. You don't look like the expert. You look haphazard there. And so when you aren't providing that, again, it's only coming down to price. That's how you can like attract the wrong customers. If it appears like your vehicle wrap is all peeling and cracking and fading, or maybe you only have decals and that's like dried, wraps and decals will age like leather. They will dry and crack out. And so if you're not intentional to update those every 4 or 5 years when they need to be, again, my messaging that I'm giving to the customers, like, it feels like, are y'all cutting corners? Are y'all skimping? Do y'all not pay attention to your own equipment? Are you using old stuff? Those things all play into your brand. And so the way you present yourself is not just the logo itself. It is the uniforms that your technicians are wearing. It is the trucks that they are driving up in. It is the material, the print collateral that you are leaving with the customer behind you. So it will drive me crazy when I see contractors. They're like, yeah, I mean, we don't want to like pay a printer to like print out our maintenance club brochure. So like, we just print it out ourselves here at the office. It's in black and white, but like, it's fine. I mean, like, you can still read it. It still says all the same messaging. And like, yes, that's true. But like, you are not presenting yourself as like, hey, I am the expert here. It looks like you are trying to cut corners and cut costs. Okay. To where I'm then going to think like, are you doing that same thing with my system here in my plumbing? Are you just trying to get in and out? Are you trying to look for ways to skate around it? So that's where a brand really comes to life beyond just the logo itself. The way you're presenting your materials. Is it done on a carbon copy? You're writing out an invoice on there. I was talking with a contractor and they're like, no, we love carbon copy invoices. Like, I get to keep one and the customer gets to keep on. I'm like, okay, like, you also look like you're from the 1950s. Okay. So like, as I'm trying to look of how can I have a super energy efficient system that's going to cut down on my energy bills, you just presented me something from like 1955. And like, so like, I don't think that you're offering me the most innovative or today's technology solutions. Cause like, the way you're presenting this to me already feels so outdated. So like, again, that is another essence of your brand, where versus if you are presenting on an iPad, you already look more technology focused. Like, I'm with today's world. Would I say that carbon copies and maintenance agreements is a bad idea too? Again, it can portray that message of like, it just feels old school. I'm not saying that it's like a make it or break it deal, but it's one of those little things laying in people's minds that like, they just feel a little outdated, or this just feels like it's not the most innovative, up to date. It doesn't feel like a great experience. I can't see beautiful graphics. I can't visualize your brand. It's probably done in black and white with just some type on it. It feels very corporate-y, official versus the relationship that we are trying to build. So again, how do you want to be positioned as the old fashioned, old school values? That can be fine, but then it could also be so hard to overcome in that way. So possibly presenting it on an iPad, or maybe you still like the feel, the tangibleness of having some paper there. Get it designed, print it in color, have your brand colors. Again, another iteration of, I see purple and I think of this company. I see lime green and I think of this company. You're losing an opportunity for branding and for memorability, for stickiness to land in their mind if you're looking to cut corners and print things on black and white or on carbon copy things. But if I'm trying to sell them like, hey, this is so efficient. This is going to take you to the next level. This is how you're going to cut energy costs. Here's how you're going to have savings. I'm already discrediting myself in doing that when I'm offering old school pieces of paper, or ways of how I'm presenting it, or the ways of how I'm presenting my customers. I also hate it when, like, we're just going to print a bunch of business cards that are just generic and like they can just like handwrite their name and their cell phone number on there. Again, it's not like a huge like make it or break it deal, but like it doesn't feel super intentional. And guys, I'm sorry, but like business cards are not the most expensive thing in the world. They are not the thing that at the end of the year, when you're looking at your bottom P&L, like, man, we really missed our margins this year because we printed them their own business cards. That is not going to be the case. But again, that level of professionalism, when you have actually printed with your name, and maybe it has a QR code that goes to that customer or that technician's review thing to help you keep up with their data. Like Justin generated 20 reviews this month where Gage only generated 5. You could get super intentional there versus if I'm just handwriting it. It just feels less professional. It just feels less intentional. So it's not a make it or break it type thing, but it can echo what you are trying to sell to your customers. Neva, you're saying down in the chat, you do have your brand colors and all that, but we're redesigning them and trying to figure out the best way for making the customers have a copy as hard as on hand as well, and not have email addresses. Yes, that can be challenging. Just figuring out how to print that. So, great that you're doing the full color type thing. There's also like numerous apps of how you can scan to where maybe you leave the physical copy with them, but you just have Adobe Scan is a great thing. It does a lot better than just actually like taking a picture, but maybe your team has some type of app or software of how they get the copy that we need, that we can store digitally in our files. And like, let's be honest, like who wants from our team to have the paper versions? I don't know what happened with the camera just right there. Let me readjust a little bit. There we go. But you also probably don't want all the physical, tangible versions. So maybe there's a way of how you can leave that paper copy with the customer, but you're going to have the digital one for you yourself. So focusing on the value that you provide and other ways of how to reiterate the message that you are trying to provide, that is what you need to focus on so that it doesn't only come down to just price. So let's talk about number 4, ignoring your online presence. So I've talked a lot about kind of like tangible things of print collateral, your vehicle wraps, your uniforms, things like that. But like we cannot ignore your online presence. So like just how I said, I was talking with a contractor and we pulled up their website and it has one logo and their social media has another logo. And they're like, that's not our logo. I'm like, well, it sure is heck right here. Okay. So do you have an outdated website? Maybe you have gone through a brand refresh or a rebrand. That's great. And maybe you got it on a vehicle. You're like, great, I'm done. No. Does it match your website? And I know these things take time to iterate and stuff, but so like maybe if you haven't got your full website rebuild out, do you at least have a hero graphic, something up at the top of like, hey, same company, new look, where you have the old logo and you're showing the new logo there too. Okay. Again, we are doing things when we're refreshing our brand to get noticed and to have people know and have ways to engage and experience with us. So probably the first thing they're going to do is like go to your website, like go to the internet, like how do I contact these people? So if you have outdated stuff, they're gonna be like, are these the same people? And maybe they can figure out that they are, but then they're like, they don't have it very together. Like, man, this is still really old. This just feels outdated. Again, when I get in there to the home, the options are going to feel outdated. The options are going to feel not consistent because of how I'm presenting myself before I can ever get into the home. So, is your website up to date with your look? Do you have consistency amongst your website, your social media, your Google business profile, even your email signatures from your own team? So, as you are communicating to the customer and stuff, do you still have an old version of your logo? Does people have different versions, different email signatures? Does that match? Are you even alive online? Like, I have to say that to our contractors sometimes, not our contractors, we get them alive. Okay. You will be, people know. Okay. But as we're coming across people, I'm like you kind of have to like poke them. Like, are y'all doing anything? Like, you haven't posted since January of 2023. And so like customers are looking in numerous different platforms. Like, I don't know. Like, are they still in business? Does anybody work there? Or are they like so not alive? Like there's only like one guy, two guys. Am I gonna have to wait a week for someone to come and service me? So making sure that you're not ignoring your online presence. Also reviews. Do you have reviews? Do you have a review strategy? Are you asking for that business? Are you asking because great customers and the bottom part of the funnel. So, hey, we've done everything to attract them to potential customers to them when they actually had a time of need service where we were able to actually capture on that. We did a great job. We serviced them. We had the point of acquisition. We got paid. We did the job. But then there's another piece to the funnel. Okay. And we like to refer to those as raving fans. Okay. So people that loved the experience that they had with you, they will then become little marketers for you because they are advocating for you. Like, oh man, they did such a good job. Man, I was so impressed with the process. They made it super easy for me. When we can create raving fans, advocates, those are a piece of our marketing strategy. Okay. And so getting those reviews, getting them to put it online for us. So not just, yes, we want their word of mouth, but then we also want that testimony to live online. So asking for the reviews. And then are you following up with your reviews? So don't ask for it. Do all the things. Maybe you have the business cards for each technician, like scan here to leave us a review, and it makes it super easy for the customer. Hey, I'd love it if you mention me by name. Maybe your technician is saying like, hey, I just get a little spiff, a little bonus, a little kickback for every time I get a review mentioned with me. Was there anything else I could have done better for you? Oh no, you did a great job. Then would you mind leaving me a review? Once we do all those things, that is so great. That is so fantastic. We got the review online, but like, make sure you are responding to those. Okay. Thank you so much, Mrs. Jones. It's always a pleasure. Yes, Justin is a great technician. We are so blessed to have him as a part of our team. So glad that you experienced the McWilliams way. So glad that you experienced the Wise Guys way. Make sure that you're responding to all those things. And heaven forbid, I know none of you ever, no, it never happens that you get a bad review. But for some of those other people, not y'all never get bad reviews. But for some of those other people, if you get a bad review, make sure that you are responding to that as well too. It might feel weird, and this is where AI could potentially come in to help because sometimes you can be like, they're so wrong. You want to tell them like it is. You want to tell them what's up, and like that was not the truth. But like AI can help you correlate a message that is much friendlier, much more professional, where you're not flipping your lid, whether they're right or wrong, whatever it is. You need to make sure that you respond to that. Making sure that you're telling them like, we take this very seriously. We are looking into this, or we are looking to make this right. We are contacting you, reaching out to you over the phone to do this. Make sure that you respond to it. There's ways that you can do it to be professional, to acknowledge whatever it is that they are complaining about, and also do it to where you're not throwing your own team under the bus. We never want to pass blame onto our team or anything like that. And so AI can be a great way of how to help you respond to those if you need help to like fume on down, if you will. But that can also be a lot more telling to people that are looking at reviews of like, how do you handle bad situations? Are you going to pop off and be a fire hose lid, or can you respond with dignity and excellence? And then it also just like humanizes you a little bit. Like, people do know that nothing is perfect. And so when you have that one bad review amongst 1,000 other great ones, that's okay. Okay. Don't let it derail or disrupt, or like, we're not going to ask for reviews anymore because we might get a bad one. No, don't go that route. Okay. They will happen, but make sure that you are responding to all of them. But being super intentional with your online presence, ignoring your online presence is a big branding mistake that we see happening all the time. So, and there's ways of how, if it takes time to do it or to get it all transitioned, make sure you're putting like co-brand it for a while. Okay. Show the old and the new, make announcements like, hey, new website coming soon. There's ways of how you can do it to show that intentionality. And then number 5, the last mistake that we're going to talk about is not showing the human side of the business. So when we don't show our actual team, because people connect with people and people connect with stories, they don't connect with corporations. Okay. They don't connect with necessarily just a logo or just a font or a color. Okay. The human side of the business and why that typeface, why that color represents you and your people, your company, that's what people need to connect to. So when you don't show your own team, we don't show the personality of your company, when there's no story to it, when there's nothing to resonate, that is such a missed opportunity. That's such a mistake that so many people make. Because we're not hiring companies, you're hiring people. You're hiring Justin or Gage to go do the job. You're hiring Emily and Crystal's company to take care of you and stuff. So show the owner, show your team, show your culture, show the behind the scenes, show the things that like nobody knows. Oh, like, oh, that's what you actually have to do to change my filter. That's what you actually have to do to get up in the attic. That's what you actually have to do to go unclog that drain. That's what people love to see. That's the things that they don't know about. And then they can also, that's the things I don't want to do. So like, that's definitely why I'm going to hire you, the professionals, the expertise. Like, I don't want to be DIYing that. But that's where people can connect when they see the actual people. And like I said, if you ever had a bad review or a boo-boo or a bumble, something else, when you've humanized the brand, people are a lot more willing to brace with you, give grace there, okay? Because they know it's a real person. You've humanized it. You've humanized the problem and that mistake that might have happened versus like when there's no person that they can tie to, they can be a little bit more like keyboard ninjas and attacking the company. But when you have the human side of things, people give a lot more grace. But showcase your team, okay? So on social media, in your own emails, that's a great way. We talked about how do you have raving fans, those loyal advocates. Well, you've got to stay top of mind to those customers. Don't be like, we serviced them a year ago and like they haven't heard or seen of you since. They kind of forgot about you. Like, oh yeah, that was who we used to do that job. No, stay top of mind to them. So emails can be a great way to do that. Showcase, hey, we were just at opening day of Little League Baseball. We were throwing out the opening pitch, or we were at the sweetheart banquet for the Boys and Girls Club. Showcase your team that was there at that banquet. Show your employee of the month. This is Justin. He got our employee of the month for February. And then when people get down there and be like, oh yeah, I forgot that Justin works over there. Like, oh, that's Susie's son. Like, look at him doing so good over there, man. They hire great people. That company hires great people. They're always celebrating their people. It also can do wonders for the family and the team members of whoever's getting highlighted or celebrated. So, we all know that our guys are having to work long hours, doing dirty jobs. It may not always be glamorous. And especially in peak seasons, they might be out the door by 6 a.m. and they're not coming home until 8 p.m. Like that could be frustrating to the family at home. But when the wife or the spouse, whoever it might be, sees that their loved one is getting celebrated, it helps ease them like, they're making a difference. Like, hey, they work for a company, they work really hard, but like their company values them, their company appreciates them. That helps ease things at home versus like, I don't know why he's working himself to the bone and never getting appreciated, never getting celebrated. That's a small little way of how you can show appreciation and how it can help your technicians be have happier lives at home. So when things aren't happy at home, they're also not happy at work. So celebrate your team. Look for those small little wins of how you can give them shout outs, how you can celebrate them. And we were talking about this on Lemon today is like, our team will be celebrated because we were talking about like, well, should we ask them if they want to be celebrated or featured on social media? Should we not? Like, no, we're going to celebrate you. Okay. That's part of it. If you don't like receiving celebration or recognition, that's probably something in your own internal thing. Like you just can't accept a compliment and we're going to help you grow out of that. Okay. Because people do need to be celebrated. It makes them feel appreciated, whether they will admit it or not, they need to be celebrated. So show the human side of your brand, show your people, because at the end of the day, a brand isn't a logo. A brand is the culture and the people that you have that is coming to fulfill the jobs, that is coming to fix the problems that your customers have. You just need a logo and a visual representation that represents that represents your people. So we talked a lot about a lot of the mistakes that I see. So like no clear identity, you have a haphazard DIY, who knows where it came from, look and logo. You're trying to appeal to everybody, which is basically appealing to nobody. That's another big mistake. Not focusing on your value when you have nothing to provide, no reason why someone should choose you over your competitor. Then it's only focused on price, and it is a dogfight game to win in that way. So that's another big mistake. Ignoring your online presence and not showcasing your team, not showing the human side of your brand. Another huge branding mistake that we see happen far, far too often. So I'll do a little rapid fire. Bonus mistakes that we see using stock photos. So again, not showing your brand, not showing your real people. I'm using stock photos instead of your real work, using stock people, stock vans, stock buildings, stock homes. Show real pictures. Okay. We don't like this super polished home that looks like from Seattle, but we live in East Texas. No, have a real picture of a home that you service that looks like an East Texas home. Have a real picture of your actual technician, not just super glamorized. We've all seen the exact same stock photo of the guy at the door, like waving, smiling with his Navy unbranded uniform. It's so fake and unauthentic. Okay. People like the raw side of seeing the real people. Copying your competitors' branding. My goodness. We should have made this a whole talking point, but people would be so concerned. Well, they do it and like they're really successful, so I got to do that too. No, find your own thing. Find what makes you unique and identifiable. Find out what makes why they should choose you over that competitor and own that. Run with that. Okay. Quit trying to blend into everybody else. Dang it, we're trying to stand out so that we get noticed. Okay. And then updating or changing the brand too often without a plan. So like how I said, we see all these different little variations like, oh yeah, we got some new printer and so they changed it that way. And then like the rap people, they said they needed a different way. So they redid it that way. And then the website, no, 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 no. Okay. Have some consistency, keep it the same, have a real plan and like almost like a checklist. Okay. I've got to get it updated here. I've got to get it updated here. Here's where I'm going to update it next month. You've got intentionality to make it so that it's not confusing and that you have some consistency because that builds brand and that builds brand trust for customers. So you got to build that trust before the first call. Okay. So much branding goes on and what is laying in people's minds and the assumptions that they are making about working with your company. All of that happens before they ever actually pick up the phone call. So you've got to earn that and win that before the actual time of need service because you have so much of a hurdle. Even if you did happen to get that phone call, you have so much more to overcome if you haven't been building trust before that actual phone call, before the technician actually knocks on the door. And go for consistency over perfection. If you guys listen to me, you'll hear me say this kind of often. Perfectionism is really just procrastination in disguise. Okay. So sometimes when you're striving for perfection, it never exists. You never get there. And then you put off getting these things updated. You put off getting a refreshed brand. You put off showcasing your team because like, well, like his hair looked a little messed up or like his shirt was like a little bit untucked. Like, no, consistency of like, hey, I'm going to show the picture. I'm going to highlight this. That will always win out over perfection. And clear and authentic brands that tell a story, they win more and they win better customers. Okay. Again, when we're super intentional of who we're trying to target and not trying to target everybody, we will attract the better customer and who we're looking to, who we want more of. Okay. So that is a key piece. So thank you for tuning in today. I hope you maybe saw a few things of maybe some room for improvement. Maybe you're making one or two of these branding mistakes. Maybe you're not. And it's just a reassurance of like, yeah, we're doing all those things. Great job. Kudos to you. If you need help on your brand, Lemon Seed is a full service marketing agency. We specialize in marketing strategy and branding. Lemon Seed would love to help you. We will give completely free brand analysis. We will talk with you and see how we might could help you and whether we'd be a good fit or we'll point you in the right direction of what you need to do next. So you can always reach out to us. Look down in the comments there. We are giving a link. You can talk with Lupita on our sales team. She'll give you a great plan, something to move forward with. You can email us hello@lemonseedmarketing.com. And I want to invite all of you guys to the Lemon Seed Conference happening March 15th through 17th in Lufkin, Texas. We're talking everything marketing, okay? You go to so many different conferences and you'll talk about finances and operations and all these things, and those are all great, but we are having a marketing exclusive content only on March 15th through 17th happening in Lufkin, Texas. We're also going to be doing a shop tour at McWilliams Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Crystal's family's company. They have a fantastic shop where you can see real things, see hands-on, see their warehouse, see their training facilities. It's always great exposure for our contractors to come and see that. So all of that is happening. We'll have tons of great parties. We're having peer-to-peer networking groups and roundtable discussions. So tons of content. We have a few more spots left that we're going to keep it open for about another week or so. So we'll drop that link down there. Oh, Neva, you'll be there. Can't wait to see you. So, guys, thank you for tuning in today. Hope to see you at our Lemon Seed conference. Stay tuned for more content and more fun things coming out from Lemon Seed. You can subscribe to our newsletter, stay up on all the things that we are doing. But I appreciated sipping some lemonade with you guys. Thank you. We will see you next time.